Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video we are going to discuss about a new topic called as value of supply under the subject indirect tax, also known as GST. Again a very important video for all the TYBCOM SEM 6 student. In this video we are going to learn what do you mean by value of supply, what is the format, and what are the ways to solve that particular sum. Okay, we are going to take up two problem sum to solve problem sum based on value of supply. So let us see what is value of supply and how to solve the sum in the most simplest manner.
Now, the value of supply in common term is nothing but the amount paid by the recipient of supply to the supplier as consideration for supply, which is also known as the transaction value. So basically it's nothing but the amount that you're going to pay to buy something. It means value of supply is the figure upon which tax is levied and collected. It is important to know to ascertain the correct value of supply for correct levy of GST. Okay, so only if you know what is the value of the goods, only on that you'll able to find what is the amount of GST which you need to pay. Valuation rules determine value of goods or service or both on which tax under GST has to be charged. So in other words, it is nothing but the total amount of the bill for your goods or services. To understand this better, let us go to the format of value of supply. Okay, now in order to calculate the value of supply, the very first thing what you need to note down is the value of supply goods or services. That is your original value of your product. To that, we need to add all the taxes other than GST, add all the cess and duties, add all expenses which are incurred by the supplier, add all expenses incurred by the recipient on behalf of the supplier. We add all the subsidy other than the government subsidy. Government subsidy is exempted. Other than that, it will be added to the value of supply. Okay. When you add up all this, we get gross value of supply. To that, we need to subtract discount if it is given, and less GST, which is already inclusive. If your original value of supply contains GST, okay, so we'll have to first remove the GST, get the gross value. Okay, on that, whatever will be your final value of supply, on that again we'll have to charge GST. So first thing, we'll have to subtract GST, which is inclusive. Okay, so value of supply, you add up all the other expenses, you minus discount and GST inclusive if any. Okay, whatever will be your net amount, that is nothing but your value of supply. So in order to put this in graphical point of view, value of supply is nothing but the value of goods and services. To that, you have to add all the taxes other than GST. You add up all your cess and duties, all expenses incurred by the supplier and recipient on behalf of supplier, all the subsidy other than government. You add up all this to the value of goods and services, and you subtract discount or GST inclusive if any. Okay, so when you add up value and less, okay, to the value of goods and service, the finally whatever bill comes up, that is nothing but your value of supply. Okay, so to understand this, let us take the very first problem sum and try to find out the value of supply.
Okay, now to understand the topic on value of supply, we are going to take up two very important sum, okay, which will clear all your doubt based on this particular topic. Okay, so this is the very first question. We're going to take up two sums which will clear all your doubts. Okay, so this is the question number one. Mrs. Gurunath, a registered supplier, provides you the following detail with respect to contract entered with MS Sisha Enterprises for the supply of goods. So whenever you get a sum where the question is having this particular statement has entered into another person or another party for supply of goods, is always based on value of supply. Okay, after that they are giving you value of goods inclusive of IGST. This particular price has already GST in it. Okay, whenever it is inclusive, always remember we will have to remove the value out. Then they are giving you taxes other than GST, expenses which were incurred by Gurunath, who is the supplier, expenses which were incurred by Shisha Enterprise on behalf of Gurunath. So recipient had incurred some expense on behalf of the supplier. Expenses which were incurred by Shisha Enterprise, that is the recipient, not on behalf of the supplier. And lastly, subsidy of 2000 was received from Udyan and NGO. Calculate the value of supply, also calculate the tax payable. Now this is all what has been mentioned in that particular question. Now let us see how to solve this. Again, a very simple way. Just you have to keep in mind our format that we had discussed earlier. That first you always need to note down the value of supply or the list price. Second, you keep adding all the things. Okay, you have to add all your expenses which are other than GST, all your cess, all your expenses incurred by the supplier, all the expenses incurred by the recipient other than on behalf of the supplier, all the subsidy which are not government related, less discount. Okay, whatever you get the answer, that will be value of supply. On that you will have to find your IGST, GST, whatever has been given to us. Okay, now in this sum they are giving you IGST, so we will have to take the value on IGST. Okay, so now let us see how you start. Okay, so we'll note down the format is there. So we'll just have particulars and amount. Okay, now the very first thing is the list price. Now it was given in the question that it is inclusive of IGST. Okay, the value is given that value of good inclusive of IGST at 18% is 1,88,800. So we need to first get the value of supply, or you can say the list price. Okay, so I'll write here list price. Now the amount is inclusive, meaning that 1,88,800 is inclusive of GST of IGST of 18%, and we have to remove that 18% out. Okay, whenever there is inclusive, always keep this method in mind. If base is 100 and 18% is IGST, can I say this entire amount is nothing but 118%, because it already includes 18% of GST. We need to only find the value other than the GST. So we need to find the value of 100%. So we are finding basically the value of X. So then we have to just cross multiply 1,88,800 into 100 divided by 180. The value that you all should get is 1,60,000. So this is the value other than GST, okay, exclusive of GST. 1,88,800 into 100 divided by 118, 1,60,000 was your list price. So our sum will always start with list price. Now we keep adding one by one whatever things have been given to us. Okay, so first they gave us expenses other than GST. So yes, taxes, sorry, yes, it will appear other than GST. Yes, it gets added. So taxes other than GST, the amount is 18,500, will be taken into consideration. Okay, the next thing which is given there is expenses which are incurred by Gurunath. So yes, all those expenses add. We'll have to write add expenses which are incurred by the supplier. That was insurance charges, freight charges, designing charges, okay, which had the value of 8,000, 5,000 and 6,000. So all the expenses which are incurred by the supplier needs to be considered. Second, all the expenses incurred by the recipient on behalf of the supplier, which is the next adjustment. Following expenses were incurred on behalf of Gurunath, that is testing charges. Yes, that also will be considered. So testing charges is 3,000 rupees. Next, expenses of 3,000 were incurred on transportation by Shisha Enterprise, but not on behalf. If it is not on behalf, cannot come here. Recipient expense, that is his personal expense, it cannot appear here. So we ignore that. Next, subsidy is given. So yes, other than government subsidy needs to be noted down. So there is a subsidy of 2,000 rupees. We will note it down. Okay, that's it. Nothing else is given that. So we'll add up the values. So I get 1,60,000 plus 18,500 plus 8,000 plus 5,000 plus 6,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,000. So our value comes to 2,02,500. Okay. Now on this amount we need to add, in this case sum it was given IGST at the rate of 18%. So into 18%, if I do, I get the value of 36,450. You add it with your 202500 and we will get a total value of supply, which is 2,38,950. This is nothing but my value of supply. Okay, so this was the very first sum in which the list price had GST inclusive. So we'll have to remove the GST. This is the method to do that, and thereafter we have to just go as per the format. So this was the very first sum. Okay, I hope everyone have understood that. Now we will be picking up the second sum, again based on value of supply with a different a bit of twist in it. Okay, so let us see the second variation, how to solve that particular sum. Okay, the second question reads as Mihir Shah Udyog has provided the following particular relating to the goods sold by it to its Ganesh enterprise. Again, sold by it. Whenever you have this contract with another party, it's always based on value of supply. They are giving you list price of the goods exclusive of expense, taxes and discount 60,000. Now this sum is exclusive of tax. The previous sum was inclusive. So these are the two variations. Next, tax levied by municipal corporation on above goods, primary packing, extra protecting packing, CGST, SGST, special printing, weighman charges. After the adjustments are given as the Ganesh enterprise receive 5,000 as subsidy from Life is Good, a non-profit making organization. Price of 60,000 is after considering such subsidy. Shivai Udyog offers 5% discount on the list price. So now there is discount also here. Determine the value of supply of goods made by them and calculate CGST and SGST at 2.5% each. So now let us see how to solve this. Again, very simple. We'll note down the format. That will be particulars and amount. First will always be the list price or the value of supply. So here the list price is exclusive, so direct amount will take it as 60,000. You add tax levied other than GST, so yes, tax levied will come, which is 10,000. Next is primary packing. Okay, yes, that is also an expense, it will appear. Which is 2,500. Next is extra protective packing. So extra packing, yes, that is also an expense, which is 1,000 will be added. Next is CGST and SGST cannot appear here, so that is excluded. Next is special printing. Okay, special printing is 2,500. And weighman charges. Weighman charges is 2,000. So we have added that also. Next is Ganesh enterprise receive 5,000 as subsidy from Life. Now that's not in government. So subsidy other than government will be added. Yes, so subsidy is rupees 5,000. And that's it. After that, they're just giving you a discount. Now remember, discount will always be less. So discount given here is 5% on list price of 60,000 into 5% is 3,000. They're going to get a discount of 3,000. That's negative. So we add up. So I get the value as 60,000 plus 10,000 plus 2,500 plus 1,000 plus 2,500 plus 2,000 plus 5,000 minus 3,000. We get the value as 80,000. On this 80,000 we have to add up CGST and SGST at the rate of 2.5% each, because that's given in the question. So 80,000 into 2.5% is 2,000. 2,000 is CGST, 2,000 is SGST. When you add up, you get the total value as 84,000. That is nothing but value of supply, 84,000 rupees. Okay, so these were the two different types of sums which can come under value of supply. One includes the list price inclusive of GST, the other one exclusive of GST. Okay, you can have with discount, without discount. Okay, but basically this is the format that you will have to remember. Okay, the sum is very simple. You just need to understand what are the things which is included and which are not included, and based on that you all can solve any sum. Okay, so I hope everyone have understood both the sums based on value of supply. With that, we'll be ending this video here. Thank you.